Hey everybody, how you doing? Gonna do a do-it-yourself video on building a Lego table for a young child to be able to put their Legos on and build things with. What we're gonna start with is a plastic shelving unit system, and you can pretty much buy whatever you want. There's a number of variations out there. What I recommend is plastic to have it lightweight as well as a little bit more kid-friendly, and you kind of want to stick with something that's going to be able to be adjustable. So you get the plastic pipes you're able to cut down to size. I'll show you that here momentarily. But you'll notice the particular set that we used here, we have a really good flat surface, which will be nice when we stick the Lego baseboards on the top and glue them down or hinge them down. And we won't have any interference with any type of housing or anything like that for these pipes that come up and stick further past the level of the top of the surface. So again, we have the 5-shelf unit system. You can check out the link in the description of the video for where you can find those and prices. We also have additional shelving units. We're going to cut 4 of the pipings that we have here down to this particular size, which is from another set, and we'll be able to add another shelving unit size here. So it'll be about this big, and that'll give her some additional room for storage as well as putting some of the projects that she's completed previously there. So what we have done now is just kind of set it up as far as how we want it. You'll notice on the bottom we have some 2x4s cut off, and what's that representing is some coaster wheels. I just wanted to get the right height there that made it comfortable for her. And you can see we have 4 coaster wheels there that I pulled off a chair that we have, and we'll try to affix those to the bottom of the shelving unit system so she's able to push this around in her room and be able to adjust it as needed, or pull it out into the family or dining room and do her Legos out there. Another thing that you're able to do for a child, if you want to go this route, is provide them with the option of painting the shelving unit system to any custom colors that they may want. As you can see, my daughter picked out 3 pretty colors there, as well as a white primer, so we can get some of these ends here. Per the person at Home Depot that was helping us, she was really nice, was kind of pointed us in that direction. So you can always give them that option to customize it a little bit or match their room, which is really nice. What we'll do now, guys, is we're going to go ahead and cut the shelving units down. We'll give you a picture of that when it's done. Okay, so we have the plastic shelves assembled. As you can see, we're going to be using 4 of them. The 3 bottom shelves are normal height, and the top shelf, as you can see, we cut the poles down to 12 inches in length, so it's a little bit smaller. She's able to reach the very top shelf to use as storage. The second to top shelf will also be storage or completed projects. The third to top shelf there, the second to bottom I should say, will be used for her actual assembly, and we'll have the Lego base boards attached to that shelving unit, and that'll be kind of her main one where she builds stuff. And then the bottom will be additional storage as well for perhaps a shelving system, a pull-out drawer system that we're able to use for loose Legos, etc. What we're going to do is, you can notice we don't have the blocks under there simulating the height for the wheels. How we're going to handle the wheels here is I had a old office chair that we pulled the wheels off of. I took some spare wood that we had lying around, and I just kind of sanded it down, cut it to 1.5 inches in length, and then drilled a hole into the middle of it, about a good maybe ½ inch, maybe a little bit longer, 0.75 inches, to be able to sink this down into it. And then we're going to use these things, which was provided with the shelving unit system, to sit into the holes on the bottom, which is kind of what it's intended for, to be able to prop it up off the ground. And you notice we pushed the wood into these adapters here, these little feet, and pushed it all the way to the end, so the hole's sticking towards the bottom or towards the ground. And then we were able to stick in the wheel there and pound it in pretty squarely, as you can see, and it still rolls around. It's providing its support back and forth so it won't fall off, and it should hopefully provide support for the weight of the Legos that she'll be using on here. So that'll be nice. She'll be able to roll it around her room or out to the family room if she wants to build stuff out in that area. But at that point now, we have the wheels taken care of. What we're going to probably move on to is painting of the shelving system. So here's the Lego table that we put together after we painted it, the number of colors that my daughter chose to have it in her room. And as you can see, it came together really well. Looks pretty nice. We put 1 layer of paint on it, and it seemed to go fairly well. It does scratch away if you put some effort towards it, but 1 spray can was enough for each color to be able to do all the different variations here, which is 3 different colors. 1 for the pole, and then 2 for the 2 different shelf colors. So as you can see here, then we went with the second shelf system here. to do the actual Lego base pads that we found online, and these run about $7 to $8 for a pack of 2 of them. You can get them in a number of different colors or a multicolor pack as well. I let my daughter choose what particular colors that she wanted, so we did the gray for some concrete, we did some green for grass obviously, brown and tannish color for some sand, and then we're going to put some blue towards the end there to represent water. So she'll have a wide variety of different areas to be able to build or do things on. And as you can see, what I'm doing here is just kind of cutting it around the sides of these tubes, and I haven't glued these down yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to glue them or hinge them. We'll go ahead and get to that point eventually, but as you can see, I just want to wrap it around, be able to have a good space coverage, but still make it look somewhat nice. You can see here I still got a lip on it, and you can see that scratch there is a representation of how it will scratch off there, but no big deal. And then to be able to cut that, what I'm doing is just kind of using a template, and here's the Lego base pad covering that we had gotten in the package there, and I just used it because it is a good size representation, and I just marked it and then markered it and cut that out, and then used that as a template on the Lego base pad itself, and then dremeled it off with a cutting tool. And I'm sure you could use other means of getting that cut apart as well, but it gives you some additional pieces here that she's able to use if she wants. And my daughter really enjoys sanding, so that's kind of been her task as I go along and cut these off. She comes back and sands them for me. She really enjoys that, and it's a good quality bonding time with the daughter to be able to do little projects like this and include her as well, and that way she feels a part of this project when it's complete. So we'll continue working on here and give you another glimpse of it as we get further along. Here's a quick look of the Lego table with the baseboards after being glued down, so you can kind of take a look at how it was laid out. And this was fairly easy to do, like I said, just cutting it with a Dremel tool to be able to get it to the right size. One thing I would recommend is just making sure that your Lego lines are lined up. I kind of learned that lesson as I went along. I'm a little off-centered when you get towards the end there, but everything should line up fairly well as she's building stuff on each of the colors. But then we are going to go ahead and buy some containers to be able to hold all the Legos and put those on here. So we found some containers that really work well with these plastic shelving units, and they're lightweight, they're very cheap, and I'll throw a link down in the description so you can easily find these, maybe same ones if you're looking for them. But we have a nice big pull-out shelf one there, or a drawer I should say, and then a smaller 3-shelf tier system, and they fit really well there. Get a little extra space on the top for setting projects perhaps. And then I bought 3 of these containers here, which do have locking mechanisms on both sides, so they can keep the Legos contained without having to worry about spilling them when they're carrying them. And it does have an easy carry case handle. My daughter, who's 5 years old, is easily able to reach up and pull those down and put them back on the shelf so she can get to them very easily. And then we'll leave the top shelf open for storage of projects perhaps that she's worked on and wants to keep, and maybe even display. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple little projects here, and we'll give you one final look at it once we got some Legos in place. One last final look at the Lego table that we put together. You can tell we got some Legos in the containers. They're working really well, sliding on and off the shelf really easily. Light enough that my daughter doesn't have any issues doing that by herself, and she's 5 years old. We have some of the more widely used parts down on the bottom there, the building blocks, things of that nature. And as you can see here, we've already started a little Lego land. And my daughter's got her little palace built, as well as kind of structuring onto another one over there, and a little post office, and a vehicle, and she's really having a lot of fun with this as she looks forward to playing with it every morning as she gets up before she has to get ready for the day. So definitely a success, and fairly inexpensive for what you get out of it, and comparatively to a lot of Lego tables that you buy online, it has a lot more functionality. We're able to roll this out into the living room very easily. In fact, my daughter enjoys doing that as well, and if I'm putting it back for her, she's always mentioning that I need to be very careful not to scratch it along the corners. So it's a very nice Lego table. Again, she likes it a lot, and for the cost, it's not that bad. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, we appreciate you watching. Until next time, take her easy.